Joining us now, former senior executive in the counterterrorism division of the FBI and current SVP for global operations with the Soufan Group, Christopher O'Leary. Also with us is former Democratic congressman from New York, Max Rose. He's a senior advisor to Vote Vets. So, Chris, if I picked up the phone right now and got a hold of President Trump, would that be a problem?
It would, and let me start by saying, explain what the CIA does. So the CIA, and many Americans probably don't know this, their primary mission is collect foreign intelligence. So their CIA officers deployed around the world looking for people who have placement and access to the highest levels of foreign governments. And then they look for susceptibility. They look for grievances, motivations, needs for those people. Now you turn it around and you look internal to the U.S. Our Russian adversaries, our Chinese adversaries are doing the same thing, and they're pretty good intelligence organizations. They're looking to do the same thing. Our senior leaders have signaled that they may be the people who are the most susceptible. And it may not just be President Trump, but all you have to do is go throughout his network, because the Secret Service is pretty good at protecting the president physically and electronically when he's inside the bubble. But you can go outside, concentric rings to his network and find that access point.
Would the Secret Service or the intelligence community be able to get a hold of Donald Trump's phone, either physically or not physically, and protect it? I mean, are there systems they can put in place to protect it from cyber attacks remotely? Is there a way for them to harden that thing?
There certainly is, but if you can worm into it through his network. So, again, you might be able to put a bubble above the president's phone. But if he is contacting people on his unclassified, unprotected phone and calling others, or also, not to turn this into a major, but we have signaled, not to make a pun, but through the use of the cell phone, through the use of Signal, through the clearly lack of appreciation for a high-level classified information, the way documents were taken and stored, that they don't take this information seriously and don't have good operational security. So while the Secret Service is doing their job, they are not omnipotent. They cannot protect every little access point that's going on out there. And again, our adversaries are professional intelligence officers too.
Yeah.
And they're trying to break the code every day.
Listen, he has had multiple cell phones over the years. The one that I had in 2016 no longer works. I know he's got a new cell phone, and I know that there's a lot of people who had the one in 2016 and were looking around for the new one, have it now. You just ask a friend or a friend of a friend, and you can get a hold of the phone number. It's not that difficult. Donald Trump, though, sees it as an enhancement to his presidency, this cell phone, not a risk, according to Atlantic. Trump treats his direct line to the world as an enhancement of not a risk to his presidency. I've been on the phone with him before, and he's just said, I've got to go. I have someone from another country calling. An outside advisor told us he doesn't even know which country. He just sees the number and thinks, this might be a foreign leader I want to talk to. Max?
Yeah, so I defer to Chris on security matters, but I can tell you there's two sides of the coin here from the politics angle. When you go back to the Biden administration, elected officials and leaders in the advocacy community could never get Biden on the phone, and they had to go through probably 4 or 5 advisors. That's probably not something good to go back to, where the leader of the party just literally has no connectivity on the ground, no sense of what's going on here. But the danger with Donald Trump is not just that anyone can get him on the phone, and rather easily, because what else is he going to do at 3 a.m. when he's doom scrolling? But there's also the fact that he actually has no core beliefs. So often the policy that he puts out, or the thoughts that he puts out, or the tweet that he puts out is dependent on the last person that he spoke to.
Is that still true? I mean, that was very much true in 2016. It does seem that it's different today. He's got a coterie around him that is much more aligned with him. They're pursuing what he wants to pursue, be it tariffs or retribution. I mean, he's got a set of beliefs. But I don't know if he's as susceptible to the last person in his ear as he was, at least in 2016.
I would actually argue this is the one thing where he's more susceptible to this type of erratic change, because in the last administration, you had a whole series of officials that would stop the changes, stop the flip-flops, stop all the erratic behavior. Now we all know that this is just a group of sycophants that are looking to go along, to get along. So it'll be Trump tariffs at one rate this week, another rate the next week. If we don't think that those are connected to phone calls and text messages that he is getting from random people at 3 a.m., we are all collectively out of our mind. This is all a part of the same story.
What about the hardening in general of our telecom systems? I mentioned at the top that the Chinese hack, and that was concerning. The security apparatus found out about it much later. And figured out that the Chinese had gotten in and that they had access to our telecom securities. And there are now trade groups representing the wireless, telecom, and broadband industries that are opposing new security mandates that have been put in place by the Biden administration to harden things to make sure that China can't get into our systems. Is the cat already out of the bag?
So that's clearly problematic, and the accessibility to this administration from senior business leaders that you can influence policy is very clear. But you couple that with the de-emphasis of cyber and counter-espionage at the FBI with a focus on immigration. Those things together are really concerning. And then lastly, I'll say you've now thrown a bunch of people out of government who may have a grievance or a need or a motivation to get back at people. So, people looking for the golden age here, it might be the golden age of espionage.
Lordy. I'll just say Lordy. Chris O'Leary, really good to have you. Max, stick around.